injuries that we have out in the woods all the time is dislocated shoulders, because the same thing, people slip and fall, they put their arms up, it dislocates. These are the times where, I mean, dislocated shoulders are excruciating. Mine's been out 5 times. It gets better every time. It's not nearly as bad than the first, but it's an excruciating pain. And when a patient, or the person, your buddy in the woods, or the person you went out to find in the woods is in that much pain, they're not going to be able to walk. You're not going to be able to get them through the woods. That's all they're going to be able to focus on. So these are the times where you can actually put something back in. This is a technique that's used really quite often to put a shoulder back in.
How do you want this to
Jason, we'll just do a 2-man and put him up against a tree.
Okay.
But that's another thing is, you know, as soon as you get hurt, psychogenic shock, as soon as you get hurt, all your endorphins and adrenaline start running. And when your muscles, and you can feel, you know, when you get hurt, you start to shake. When you start to shake, you're burning off more and more calories every time. More calories you burn off, less fuel storage you have, and then he's going to go hypothermic a lot quicker than what he was before. Plus, anybody that's been hurt, especially out here after you've been working, you're going to sweat. You're going to sweat really hard. When those endorphins and everything kicks in, you're going to sweat a whole lot. So again, just another reason you got to worry about hypothermia. We won't go through the patient assessment. We found that he had just one.
Which shoulder do you want to be?
I can't twist this one back because it's already screwed up. This will have to be the back.
We found that he had a dislocation. There's 2 dislocations. There's an anterior dislocation and a posterior dislocation. Anterior is the most common. People fall, shoulder pops out. It's a ball and socket. It comes out, drops in front of it. This is one way to get it back in. Again, we found he didn't have any other injuries. We can get the shoulder back in. We can get out of here. This guy can walk himself. I don't have to burn up all my fuel storage to carry him out. I don't have to worry about him falling on it again. He's going to be mentally there and more physically there now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple attempts. And this is something that you really have to do if I find he has no circulation in that hand. A lot of times what can happen is as it comes out of the ball, it actually pinches a nerve. So you might have circulation, but you might not have any feeling. You might have lost both. You get down there, you don't have any cap refill. You know, you have to make an attempt to do this because you're a long way out. You're at least a day out
your shirt on,
by the time you do all this and get them back.
Once we get you back into place, then we can take your coat off. But it'll be extra padding.
Oh, do you want to do it and I'll explain it? You're going to have to put him up against a tree, so you're going to need some cordage.
Are we just doing it one person?
Yeah, we're just going to do one person. Okay. We're going to keep this as basic as we can.
Alright, so with cordage here. Thank you. This works really well with webbing.
You want to come wrap go ahead and wrap the tree, his waist. Yeah. You just do it.
Do you want me to back? Am I backing up?
You're just going to lay down right here.
Where you are.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and lay back.
So what we're going to do is first we're going to find a static point. This can be done a 2-man, a 3-man, a 5-man operation. The more men, the better. We're just talking about only have 2 men. So first thing you got to do is anchor your patient, because what this is going to involve is us pulling against his tendons to pull that back into place. And you would be amazed at how strong those things are.
To relocate is all muscle fatigue. To get something in. Basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to wear out their muscles. Because once you dislocate yourself, your muscles are already like, oh, I got to get it back in. So everything's going to contract and it's trying to get itself back in. Problem is it's not in the right spot anymore. So once you actually fatigue those muscles, then what it does is it relaxes them and allows that socket to pop back in, and then the muscles will pinch it back tight again. So
as you see, this is not going to be a jerking motion.
No.
When you go to the hospital and actually get your shoulder back in, one of the methods they use, and actually what they've used most of the time on me, they put you over the table, they lay your arm over the table, they slowly add weights to this. What that's doing is fatiguing that muscle, starting to allow it to relax. As soon as that muscle relaxes, it pops right back in. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to fatigue the muscles that are around that dislocated shoulder.
Now the thing with this, since we're using such narrow gauge cord, I want to pad him.
I was going to use this. Use that. Okay, with that.
Okay, so I want you to lay down. So go ahead and scoot up. And
so we're using a raincoat. We're using a little bit of cordage here. Everything, we haven't used anything else on him. We have done our full assessment on him. Next thing I'm going to do,
what I've done here is an anchor.
I'm going to be the leverage. And again, with this smaller cordage, you're going to want to kind of displace some of that pressure instead of, we're not trying to create a tourniquet here.
And you're not going to want to keep it on. Your arm's going to be wherever it is. It's hurt. You don't want to move that. So let him work around you.
I'll do the whole thing.
All he's doing now is providing some padding. Like I said, webbing works a lot easier because it's wider. tie a loop so it doesn't cinch. And you're going to end up getting really up close to your buddy here. You're almost going to put your hand in your belly or right in your crotch, so that way what he's going to do is, as he gets tighter to it, he's going to wrap that cord around his back. Okay, so now he doesn't have to pull with his hands. All he has to do is really just lean back, and that way he can manipulate the shoulder and allow that socket to get back in.
Get comfortable.
Get comfortable. You could be here for a half hour, 45 minutes.
So he's going to be using like the weight, like you were saying about the
Exactly. So even the higher he goes up with that, allows him to lean back, and then he's going to basically push against this part of his hand, so that the force is going this way, kind of like a lever action. So he's going to push against this hand, and then just slowly lean back, and that'll start to draw that out. And then what he'll do is he'll just start rotating his arm up. But again, this is something that takes time. And once it's in, they're going to feel 100 times better versus having that shoulder out and trying to walk. Any kind of jerky movement, if they go to feel that they're slipping, this will help.
So again, all I'm doing, I'm just going to start to lean back.
Okay,
now
and
we're
you
just
can push against the hand this way.
We're starting to fatigue the muscles. Can you feel that, Ron?
Yep.
So all I'm doing is fatiguing all these muscles that tensed up. So I'm just going to continue to fatigue them. Waiting a little bit, waiting. You got to look at your patient. He'll start to feel relief once you put it in there. And as I'm doing it, I'm also starting to rotate. Now, if I'm moving it a little bit quick, just because we're doing it quick, it's going to be up to the patient. He's going to say, oh, no, don't do that. He'll feel his muscles start to relax.
I feel the traction.
That's all. I'm just pulling out. All these muscles are just tight and tight and tight, and eventually they're just going to get tired. Your muscles won't go forever. They're just going to get tired. So as I'm doing that, then of course, ideally what we're going to do in this situation is we're going to cover him up. Again, hypothermia is our biggest worry right now. Still, nobody dies from a dislocated shoulder. People die from hypothermia though. So as I'm pulling it back, I'm pushing forward this way, which is creating this movement, this lateral movement, just kind of wedging off. And usually somewhere around here, it'll slide back into place. And all this tension's coming from here off of here, and I'm pivoting off of this point as well. So it's pulling it in line, it's putting the shoulder in its natural position straight across, and allows it just to sit right back in there. And as soon as it goes back in, he's going to go, ah, and then immediately I'm going to check circulation again.